Let's review this game. So this is Sicilian defense. I think like quite a lot players play bishop to c4, but that was not the best choice. So that was not the best move in Sicilian. So I would say d4 is the best move to control the center. And the problem with bishop to c4 is black hasn't pushed the pawn to e5, so black has a chance to push the pawn to e6 and then pushing the d pawn to d5 to kick the bishop. So that's a problem. The light square bishop cannot do anything but becoming a target at the center. So we play e6, and this is quite good. As I said, we can push the pawn to d5 if we have the chance. And knight to c3 and knight to c6, and instead of knight to c6 I will move this knight first, and the reason is straightforward, because the f6 knight can support d5 and we can play d5 in one move. So knight c6, castle, bishop to d7. I think bishop d7 is not necessary at this point. I have two reasons for that. First of all, let's say once a push upon a d5, and if there is a pawn exchange happening, so we could develop bishop like further to g4, f5. So our bishop has many more choices after the e pawn going to the center. And another thing is bishop to b7 is also a very good diagonal for light square bishop. So we can wait a bit to see what will the game like develop. And another problem is bishop d7 blocks our d pawn going to the center, because it blocks our queen defending d5 square. So if you look at these two moves, e6 and bishop to d7, so I mean we block our bishop first. It's fine to play e6. But I think if we want to make our plan consistent, it's better to push the d5 as soon as possible. But of course, to make our king safe at the first place, because if there is an e5 opening, our king will be under attack. So my point of view is I will move knight to f6, bishop e7, castle, and d5. And later I will move the pieces at the queen side. So this is how I will develop my pieces in this position. So knight c6, bishop to d7, d3, knight f6, this is good, bishop to e3. So now since the queen is blocked to d5, so we cannot really push the pawn. Otherwise, we have a very good chance. So for example, if we can play d5 and kick the bishop, and we can also fork with d4. Bishop e7, h3, castle, rook e1, b6. Yeah, I mean, instead of b6, I would play a6, preparing b5 to kick the bishop and also expand our space to the queen side. So b6 defending the pawn, but this pawn is quite solid actually. So yeah, I mean, if I were playing as black, I would push the pawn to b5 instead. Bishop to f4, e5, we kick the bishop. But there is also a downside with this move. That is, we have this backward d6 pawn, and white have this outpost for the knight and bishop. So instead, you know what? I was still thinking about pushing d5. This is the move we can control the center. So I will move the bishop back to c8 and then back to b7. So still, I really want to push the pawn to d5. So e5, knight h5. So this move actually, it was a mistake, because white has knight e5 to win the pawn. If we take the knight, white will win our knight. If we take the bishop, white will take this knight first, attacking our queen. So we have to take that, and white will take our knight. So white has upper pawn. But in this game, white didn't find this opportunity. Rook e8, still knight e5, g5, g4, knight f6, queen to c7, b4. Yeah. Can we win a pawn? Yes, I think we can win a pawn. There is an opportunity we can win a pawn, but we didn't do that. we take the pawn back, and yeah, so as I said, the d5 square is a very good center square for the knight. So if I play well, I will kick the f6 knight first, and then move the knight to d5. And this is so good to kick the queen, attack b6, threat to e7. So this knight is so good, and white is better in this position. But white didn't do that. h6, defend g5, queen d1. It looks like white doesn't have a good choice to launch attack. So knight e4, yeah, this is quite good. Put our knight to the center. I like this move. But do we lose the e5 pawn? Bishop to d6, then we'll lose f7. Yeah, so yeah, I think the d5 pawn is in danger. So maybe we can move the bishop to, yeah, or maybe bishop to f8 first. Protect her with a rook. And g6, bishop g7. So divide the bishop to g7. So we have this diagonal to control instead of being an e7, where it's passive. a4, take, king. Oh, we lost the f7 pawn, I think. This is a mistake. So yeah, instead I will like improve the position of these two bishops, especially this one, because the majority of our pawns are at dark square. So our dark square bishop is quite limited in its mobility. So I will move bishop fa. Once the knight is safe, I will put g6 and knight to g7, control the center, and also open the file for a rook. Yeah, so I mean, white is better than us, so we need to improve our position, and yeah, hopefully we can attack the g4 with h5. But now I don't think that's the right timing, because after g5, as I said, the white knight will move to d5 once our knight moves away. So yeah, we still have some patience to keep improving our piece position. And regarding this one, I would move it. Maybe we can trade the bishop. I mean, of course, after bishop to fa, because this c4 bishop is better than us. It controls these two diagonals and attack our f7. So instead, our bishop doesn't have a clear target to aim at. So maybe let's trade the bishop with bishop e6. This is something I would do. So king h7, king g2, and both sides repeated 3 times. So we get a draw here. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy if I get a draw, if I play as black, because white is better. But if you ask me how to improve my pieces, I would like improve the bishop first, and later maybe move the rook to the semi-open file if we have a chance pushing c4 to break the pawn structure. Yeah, that's it.